Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Caro-Mingle from Carolyn Lally. This is a neat grid tangle. Actually, after a while, some of them a lot of them have similarities to each other, but this one is, I think this one is really cool. So what we're going to do is, it's a grid-based pattern. And what I normally do is just do 4 squares on here, but this tangle is I guess the best way to say it, it's based on 4 squares of a grid, we should say. So like some tangles, it's a grid-based pattern, and then I do a 4 square, and it's the same steps in each box. But you could always just take a look at one box in the grid and see what that tangle looks like, and then it's just repeated. This one is the whole tangle is going to be 4 squares. So what I find easy to do when I'm using tangles like this is if I have my grid on a bigger space, then I'll find, okay, well, where do I want to start? Where do I want to have that that tangle be the 4 squares that I want it to start in, and then start there and then go from that point. All right, so this one, to get started, actually I had thought to separate this first step out, but I think it's okay doing it this way. But I will demonstrate it maybe in 2 steps. So the first one is, or maybe not, I debate. First one is we're going to draw a corner, a little straight line in the corner opposite the center where you're starting, but we're going to have that little line come in too. Actually, I will go ahead and do that. So all 4 corners get a line pointing to the center, and it's just a small line. And then after that, and like I said, you can do this all in one step. Sometimes, especially explaining it verbally, is like, oh, well, I'll just separate it out, and that'll make it maybe a little easier. So then we're going to essentially aura the corner of the grid. So a straight line going up, a straight line going crosswise, and we'll repeat that in each corner. And these don't need to be too big. Maybe, about the same length as that. And that's, of course, up to you. And after you've done one, then you kind of know, and you say, oh, well, I'm going to try this different, I'm going to try that different, and we figure it out as we work. Now this one, I don't know why I thought this was just kind of unique, but I did. So the next is we're going to do curved lines. So looking at, just pick a box, and so I have this what is kind of like an upside down Y here. So I'm taking the right end of this, so this right side, and then I'm going to draw a curved line, but the curved line is going to aim to the left. So we're going to curve it to the left, and we're going to end in the center here. So, and then I'm positioning my tile in my hand so it is comfy. Now I should have gone a little bit more to the side, but that's okay, right? We'll do it on the next one. All right. So curve line, I do like to kind of trace it and have that curve line just come right into the center like that. All right, let's move it down there. And we're going to repeat this on all 4 sides. Or all 4 boxes. Okay. Then we're going to do the reverse from the other side. And always when I flip it, I always have to think for a minute and position, like, okay, now which way am I going to position myself? Okay, so think this way. So this was, so from the empty end here, curving same way, and yes, and we'll do it this way. Boom, and again on each side. One of the nice things about Zentangles, we're not supposed to be rushing. So feel free to take your time, and then, now you do that, like going from here to here, kind of like air drawing it, and then it's like, okay, I've got it. All right, then do it. So sometimes I have to do that, and it's okay. All right, now that looks kind of cool as it is. What I think is neat is, while we're essentially creating a seed at the bottom of this, diamond, right here. And I think that was it's a really neat stroke. I thought, what a neat idea. Okay, next step is, and this one too, I debated on separating it out, but we'll just best explain it. This one I was joking. I was trying to think of, well, what is this called? What should we call this? It looks like a necktie or a kite, whichever way you want to think about it. But what I found is and you can either go from, well, let's just go from the center. You can either go from the center up or, up here down, whichever way is best for you. But what I was looking at doing is maybe coming a little more than, well, maybe about halfway, a smidge more than half with a curved line. I'm going to go from here, just like so. And then on the opposite side as well. And have them be about even. Well, that's not quite even, but that's okay. And then we're going to take those. Mine end up just really fat like this, but that's, But you know what? It's a character thing. So you will find how we'll get that. We're going to fill this in anyway, so we'll get that to come to a point. However you end up doing these is up to you. But we got 3 more chances here to show you. So again, maybe a little, actually maybe if it's more about halfway, and that's why I'm thinking I should start here and come down. That way I'm more assured of how wide, sort of, these are. And then another curve line, going up into that grid line. Okay, I got 2 more chances to explain it better. And you know what I am finding? Sometimes it pays. Just don't think about it. Look at how beautiful that was. And I wasn't thinking about it. Just do. You could also, if you find a place on this seed that, if that makes more sense. See, well, okay, since they're all wide, why should I stop with that? But again, you pick how you want these to be shaped, and also this is a larger a grid. It may be, depending on what you're working on. You could have something really small, and then you have to accommodate. All right, so then we are filling it. Well, you know what? Which 2 do I not like the best? I'm guessing these 2. All right, so we're gonna fill. I want to share two ideas with this. So, because this is kind of the decorating phase, and if you have been following, and if you are familiar with Zentangle, well, I should gear it to those that aren't. If you're not familiar with Zentangle, sometimes we get to this decorating phase, and then it's up to you what you want to do. I tend to be a person that likes to replicate what I see, and at least at first, and not necessarily veer from that, although I'm getting better. Oh, it's so funny how one side is like this. Look at how that is. This side is like this. This side is more curvy, and it's almost the same. Okay, I think maybe I need to turn my tile more or something when I'm doing that, because I didn't, and it's just funny. It's funny and not a big deal, because when we're filling in, and I changed to if you can see it, graphic 1 from Sakura. Now let's see. I don't know. It's going to make it wider if I go out any further, right? So this is where, so if you need to course correct, and that's what I call it, when we're trying to, we just want to adjust a little bit. I've written on myself. All right. If I was to come up, see, I'd have to go, well, let's see, I'm just going to leave it as it is. So if you want to course correct when you have done a fill in, the challenge with it is you can do it as long as, it's going into the fill in. But I have this curve such that it would end up going way out this way to course correct. And so I'm not finding that I really need to do that. But anything that, if you have to go a little, that you can afford to go a little wider, you can adjust your shape, which is a really nice thing to do. All right, if you need to. All right, and sometimes that does, I'll tell you what, sometimes that makes it worse. Okay, oh, and I was saying I was going to fill in there because of this little, I wanted to have that come to a point. All right, so one way you can do this, you can fill in. The other thing you could do is you can do straight lines, essentially, you know, you're aura-ing that grid line. And for those that don't know, to aura is just what I'm doing. I'm outlining, I'm making a line just similar to, you know, what's already there in a similar direction. Usually we do this, you know, and it's, you know, we're contouring whatever shape was there, you know, that we're auraing. So it's just, again, it's just outlining. But this, and I like to play with going really super light, which kind of makes the lines look a little jagged, but it kind of creates a neat feature in my mind. But so what's neat is that then covers up that center line. And I mean, we do have it at the ends, but we have that line, you know, at the ends on all of those. You could also, if you wanted to, color in those extra little boxes. That's up to you. Now, if you, and then on, I'm going to put in the description box, besides my step out, I will have a link to the Tangle Patterns page where this is at. And that way you can see more from, actually, because Linda Farmer, when she puts it in, just like all of us do, we do our own artwork. So we're not, you know, unless we have permission, of course. But generally we do our own artwork. So, so you see hers. And I think, yeah, she did this. And you could do anything as far as the decorating goes. If you wish to, you can leave it like this. Oh, you know, or, no, I'm going to add it just because it's cute to do. So I'm just adding a little straight line and an orb at the end. Try to make them, I was thinking I could do a little bit thicker pen, but I just think this makes it look even cuter. And then let me share a quick shading idea with you. And too, on the Tangle Patterns link, you can also see where else you could color in. So instead of doing these, well, let's see, how did she do this one? Oh, she did all of these and something. Oh, it's on a smaller grid. Yeah, so you'll just get some other ideas. All right, let me do a quick shading here for you. And I'm just putting some graphite in the center and then at the tips. Another thing that you can do for coloring in, besides, of course, you could use color, but if you wanted to shade in an entire section with graphite and then use the tortillon to smooth it out, that looks kind of neat. So I'm just spreading the graphite. I'm using my kind of push sort of method, and I'm just pushing it out kind of as far as it will go. But I want to leave some of the natural tile color, maybe coming up the sides a little bit more. And then we're going to come down from the top just a little. And for dramatic effect, or for, you know, extra, oh, there's a different word. I've lost it. That's okay. Contrast. That's the word, contrast. You could, you know, have a little bit darker graphite if you like. But that makes it look just really neat. Just adding a little bit in the center, and maybe I'll go a little bit darker in the center. But you don't have to, this one, you know, you can kind of get away with if you don't want to shade it. Well, most any of them. It just brings a little bit of life to it when we add some graphite. Ooh, see? Okay, so while I've done that, this is also, that way you can just see, here's what it looks like if we go just a little bit darker. And I would rather have you also do it in steps like this than end up with something too dark, because, you know, we don't do erasers in Zentangle. And I'm not saying that, you know, some people haven't, but I mean, as part of the Zentangle method, we just don't. It's an interesting thing to number one, just accept it if something didn't happen the way you liked it, because that's kind of how life is, right? And then two, just to say, well, okay, I'm either going to leave it and that's fine, or what else can I do to make it better? And it's kind of like creative problem solving in a unique way. And it's amazing how, I mean, personally, I have found this transfer into other areas of my life, and I'm like, just like in Zentangle, I would do this. Oh, okay. And it's interesting. It opens up your mind in ways that sometimes that you wouldn't expect from Zentangle. So there we have it, Caro-Mingle from Carolyn Lally. And like I said, it's just a cute tangle. And you can do this, of course. This is a tile that I started. Oh, let me move this up a little bit just so you can see. Because we had a little class today, and I was just using it here at the bottom. And, and you can just do so many things with it. But that way you can kind of see it in a grid form where there's, more than just one. Let's see. So we have the description stuff. I mentioned that. Also, ways to connect with me if you wish to. I do a couple free classes. I think I do more free classes than I do paid classes, but I do a combination. Information is on my website or via Facebook. And would love to have you join sometime if you wish to. And also, if you enjoyed this, I always appreciate a like or a thumbs up. And if you know somebody that likes to do this kind of thing, would love to have you share it. And if you're not a subscriber, I would be honored if you would consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do, make sure you hit the notification bell so that way you get notified the way you want to, if you want to be notified at all. So with that, thanks again for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.